Hi, and in today's video, we are gonna go over osmosis. I remember when I first learned this when I took AP biology. Actually, it was biology in my first year of high school when I learned it. And it was actually pretty easy, so that's what I'm gonna go over today. And before I begin, just don't mind the activate windows. We are not gonna talk about it. If someone wants to gift it to me, by all means. Okay, so we're gonna go over how does water know where to move. Okay, so today's goals, we're gonna define osmosis, explain concentration gradients, and predict what happens to cells. You know, when I grow up, I want to be a professor, and I don't want to be those strict teachers. I want to be like those chill teachers, but where you still learn. So if there's anything you get out of today, I hope you get these 3 goals. Okay, let's keep going. Oh yeah, I do need a favor. If you could subscribe, please. I'm just starting. I'm home. Okay. Gotta be professional. Okay, so hopefully, you know what diffusion is, and that's the movement of molecules from a high concentration to a low concentration. I hope you learned that, and if you didn't, I hope you just learned it right now. And the key idea is just that particles will move randomly from high concentration to the low concentration until there's equal amount of stuff on each side. So you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's only 2 here. So the net movement will move across here until there's an equilibrium established. And if you need some real world examples, if you can imagine oxygen moving into cells, say hi to Cornell for me, but I can't, so maybe you can think about food coloring dispersing in water. You know, when I was a kid, I used to really like food coloring. I just put it in water sometimes just see like how beautiful it is. But then I learned that some food coloring was made out of bugs. You know, I was just scrolling and there's bugs and I'm like, damn. Okay, let's move on. We got a lot to go over. Okay, so we first gotta go over what a cell membrane is, and that's the protective barrier that protects the cell, and it controls what enters and leaves the cell. And you can just think of a cell membrane like a wall encompassing a village, right? A town. It protects it, and it can allow some things to enter like water, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, but it can also decide not to allow some things to enter like large proteins, DNA, and other large molecules. And that is because these in a cell, like, it's really really small, so if things that are too big tries to enter, it just wouldn't be able to enter, as you can see here. And oh, this is a good SAT word. I should really study for the SAT, guys. Don't procrastinate. And if you want SAT videos, I am not the guy. Actually, I am. I can teach you everything you need about the SAT, but that's for another video. But our vocabulary is selectively permeable, and that just simply says a membrane that allows certain substances to pass while blocking others, as above here, as you can see. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so now on to the main point of the video is about water movement, and osmosis is just the diffusion. Don't remember diffusion, high to low. So diffusion of water across a selectively permeable membrane. As you can see here, high water concentration, low water concentration. So the water will move this way. Also, we have low solute concentration and high solute concentration. We're gonna go over that soon. But the main idea we want to just think about is that water moves to balance the concentration on both sides until there's an equilibrium. Okay, so the first environment we're gonna talk about is hypertonic solutions. There's 3 of these environments we're gonna go over, and in our first one we have more solute outside the cell. So these are our solute, and you can think about this. Also, don't get that confused with solvent. You're gonna have to know that for physics, chemistry. Oh, I did not like chemistry. Maybe that's another story for another day. But a hypertonic just simply says there's a higher concentration of solutes outside the cell than here's the cell than inside the cell, as you can see here. So the movement of water will go outside the cell to try balance out the environment, so it's the same on both sides. And when that happens, the cell will shrink due to the water leaving the cell, and the animal cell will shrivel, and the plant cells will undergo plasmolysis, and we can go over that in another video. But we're just going over osmosis, and that's just, yeah. So our second environment is hypotonic solutions. Don't get that confused with hypertonic. I got that confused on the AP exam. My teacher would send everyone who got a 5 on the AP exam a letter, and he would say that, like, he would congratulate you on getting a 5. And you know, let's just say I didn't get the letter. Okay, moving on. So we're talking about less solute outside the cell. There's less solute outside, and there's more inside. And when that happens, water will move into the cell to establish equilibrium, and that will result in the cells bursting due to the increased amount of water. It's like trying to fill a balloon up with a lot of air. It's not gonna work. My analogies are not too good, but it's fine. And like I said, animal cells may burst. Cytolysis. I usually call it just lysis. I don't know, I got speech impediment, don't make fun of me. But okay, quickly going over this. And our third environment is isotonic, and you can just remember that it's different from hyper and hypo. It's just iso. So that's just equal concentration, solute concentration on both sides, outside and inside. So the water will continuously enter and exit the cell at equal rates. So this is known that movement of water, and the cell will remain stable. Okay, so where do we see osmosis in real life? Like, for example, when we put raisins in water, it will start to swell up. And that's because, well, first I hope you know that raisins, I'm pretty sure raisins are just like dried out grapes, and I don't know why you would do that, because grapes on its own are so good, especially those cotton candy grapes. But anyways, since raisins contain a high solute concentration than plain water, the water will enter through osmosis, and the raisin will expand. And if you need other examples, we got sea cucumbers. Like, the solute is the salt in the cucumbers, and it will draw out the water into the saltier surroundings. That's really complicated wording, so we're gonna go on to this example. We have freshwater organisms like this little fishy, and will constantly manage water entering their cells, so they can be like stable with its environment. Okay. And we have common AP biology mistakes. Maybe where was this when I was studying for the AP exam? You know, I made so many mistakes. I wanted that letter so bad. It's okay. So just remember, water moves towards more water. Don't remember that. I'm sorry for that wording, but don't remember that. if there's one thing you remember, just water does not move towards more water. They move towards they move towards lower solute concentration. I might have to fix that wording. So water moves from high to low. Just remember that, high to low. Like think of one Victor Wembanyama. He's so tall. Think of me. It goes from Victor to me. And then also don't remember osmosis moves solutes. That's not it. Osmosis is the movement of water. Always remember that. So we're gonna have a practice question. So I hope you can answer this based on what you learned today. And if you didn't learn anything, leave it down in the comments. Tell me how to do better. I like constructive criticism. I really need it. Okay, so our practice question is, don't use ChatGPT, guys. Don't be like me. Okay, a red blood cell is placed into seawater. Answer these questions. Is seawater hypertonic, hypotonic, or isotonic relative to the cell? Which direction will water move? And what happens to the red blood cell? Pause and predict before continuing. Yeah, I see you searching it up. I see. Okay, so the answer to number 1 is seawater hypertonic, hypotonic, or isotonic. It is, let me get the hypertonic due to the salt water on the outside. So pretend this is the salt, and that's the red blood cell. So it is hypertonic. So it's hypertonic. And what direction will water move? So always remember, it will move from high to low. I just remembered. I made a mistake. No, the water will move from the cell to outside. So my wording was correct over here. So don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. If you wanna leave a complaint, I'll give you my local Pizza Hut's email. Okay, so what direction will water move? It will move from the red blood cell into the seawater environment, since it goes from low to high concentration. So yeah. And what happens to the red blood cell? Since the water is leaving the red blood cell, it will shrivel up just like the raisin. Just like how a raisin's made, let's ban raisins. Okay. So finally, if you just want to predict on the AP exam, I don't know if they're gonna ask it, probably not. But if you just want one rule, just first out find out where there's a higher solute concentration, and then you can predict the net water movement. And then finally, you can just say if the cell will shrink, swell, or stay stable. Again, I didn't make a mistake on this. The water will move to the higher solute concentration to establish equilibrium. So if you paused off the video there and went on to the AP exam and made that mistake, I guess we're both just not gonna get the letter. Okay, so yeah, that concludes our video on osmosis. I hope you learned something. If you didn't, leave it in the comments. I want constructive criticism, and I hope to get better in the coming videos. Just let me know what you want to see next or not, because I guess I'll choose. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching Cogni. Leave in the comments if you like the name too. Alright. Bye.